promoting and supporting some of the cornerstones of the American experience. It's all about family, faith, and freedom. Now let's get back to the Curtis Report with your host, Barry Curtis.
Thanks, and welcome back to the Curtis Report. We appreciate you being here. No matter how you're listening to us, through iHeartRadio or through a particular call letter and station you may be listening to us on right now, or if you're listening through our website, thecurtisinitiative.com or thecurtisreport.com, both of those will take you to the same place, thecurtisreport.com or thecurtisinitiative.com. As always, hats off to and kudos to our Facebook friends there and listeners. There are tens of thousands of you there in Facebook on the Curtis Report page on Facebook, and go to the Curtis Report page on Facebook, and you'll see many of the thousands of people who chime in on the political events of the day. We talk about family, faith, and freedom here in the Curtis Report in our weekly broadcast, and we have a just literally hour by hour, minute by minute discussion and debate on a whole host of topics as it relates to family, faith, and freedom on the Curtis Report in Facebook. In addition, we have the Son of Man Bible Study Group, which is several thousand in that, thousands upon thousands in that. So we appreciate both of you groups listening to the Curtis Report, no matter how you're listening to us, iHeartRadio, call letter station, or if you're listening directly through the website, thecurtisreport.com or thecurtisinitiative.com. On that website, you can see photos and bios of previous guests, current guests, and future guests. In addition, you'll see those who contribute and write to our website there and blog for us there. I know that Larry Kelly's up there, other folks who routinely write about the political issues of the day. No matter how you're listening to us, we welcome you here as we talk weekly about family, faith, and freedom. There is in this country, and I don't subscribe to this war on this and war on that, and I have often talked about this absolutely fallacy about the war on women. There isn't a war on women, but this is part of this radical, liberal, feminist, leftist ideology about this supposed war on women. But really they say this and do that so that they can come forth, these women, and blur and obscure the real attacks in which is happening. And, and this is kind of this drive-by media. That's what they do. They throw out different stuff. Oh, there's more men in this particular field and job, and there should be more women, and women make less than men. We'll get that here in a minute. And all of this, it all goes into this cog, this left-wing, liberal, feminist, radical ideology that attacks men. This quote-unquote falsehood about war on women allows women to attack men. This falsehood about a war on women allows women to make radical assumptions about men. Now, if you want to have an example of the most militant, the most radical, if you wanted to see the most bizarre impact of ideology, look at radical feminism. It is sickening. It is a religion radical feminists subscribe to. This attacks that these radical feminists have done and continue to do. It amounts to what really is a war on men, a war on boys, a war on masculinity. And now keeping something in mind, these attacks on men, these attacks on masculinity, this radical left-wing attack, this radical feminist attack on boys and men is not an effort to divide men and women. Just the opposite. Their attacks on men is an effort to eliminate the differences between men and women. And their attempts to eliminate the differences means they want to eliminate manhood, masculinity. Those things that are so innate, those things that are so that are so inalienable to us men, they want to eliminate. It is the wimpification of boys and men. Again, they don't want to in any way divide men and women, and that's what people get on the subject matter, and they attack feminism and say, you want to divide us. No, they don't. They want to eliminate the differences. They want to eliminate the issue of masculinity, of a man being a man. You know, a great author, Christina Hoff Sommers, wrote several years ago a great story, and she indicated that the era from 1870s and 1970s, from the 1870s and 1970s, could well be called the century of the boy, building on the tradition of male dominance far older than the nation itself. Americans conceived a cultural romance with boyhood that penetrated every facet of American life. And some of the examples of that were Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn. I mean, these were iconic figures. I mean, there were boys being boys. There were boys playing games, you know? What's more boyish, masculine than boys playing baseball? Football. These were preoccupations with young men and boys, and ultimately came, you know, metaphors for work, statecraft, and the life itself. You know, and just think about figures like the cowboy. Think about that. Even the playboy that modeled American manhood for the nation and the world. Think about that. You know, our cultural influence about being a boy, being a man, influence our daily behavior. You know, from everything from schoolroom practice, our dominant psychologies of childhood, we're all boy-centered for us men. So when this when this feminist movement emerged, this militant feminist movement emerged in the 60s and 70s, boyhood and manhood became natural targets of the radical feminist left. Now keep in mind again, the aim of the radical leftist feminist movement is not to divide men and women, but it's to eliminate the differences. And they do this by pulling down boys and men and attacking their masculinity and attacking their manhood. This is radical left-wing feminist. They dislike men. In fact, they hate men. They hate what we stand for as men. We're going to take a quick break and get back into very specifics about how this left-wing liberal feminist ideology is attacking manhood. We'll be back with more of the Curtis Report in just a moment.